Hey. So, I just re-listened twice, actually, to a book by Don Miguel Luis. Yes, I believe that's it. And it is called The Four Agreements. Wonderful, wonderful book. So, in this book, I remember when I first listened to it, it was about February, March of 2020. So, I don't even think I knew the pandemic. Yeah, we didn't know anything about a pandemic. It was going to be a pandemic, any of that stuff. So anyhow, I was listening to the book. I shared it with my husband and some other friends, and I made an agreement at that time to be impeccable with my word. Although it seems like a huge, undoable feat at the time, it seemed like it was nearly impossible. I'm like, how in the world could I possibly be impeccable with my word? But my curiosity and my desire to be the best version of me allowed me to make that agreement then. So, in re-listening to the book, I can definitely see where it has my agreement with being impeccable to my word has led me. And I can see how it has because the truth of things, it's so muddy. I don't want to step in the mud. You see all that mud? It's so muddy. Knowing how the truth feels in my body, knowing how it affects me, knowing how it affects my life, leads me to want more truth. And at first I thought that truth was something you had to seek, right? But then I realized that truth never plays games. It don't play hide and seek. You don't have to go search for truth. Truth is always here. Truth is abundant. Truth is what you would see if you let go of the lies that you were told. And those lies that we were told were for purpose. They were told with purpose, on purpose. The biggest being that we are imperfect. So once you believe and have faith that you're imperfect, it can use it as an excuse for things in your life that show up. Oh, I'm not perfect. Oh, they're not perfect. Oh, it's not perfect. We're imperfect. This is an imperfect world. And the more you perpetuate that thought process, the more, let me keep going, the more true it is for you in your world. So in your world, you're not perfect. Your world is not perfect. The things you see are not perfect. And in your imperfect world, there's a bunch of stress and dis-ease. And your mental is ill because of your stress, right? And also, we were given a story of what perfection looks like. We were given a story of what hell looks like. We were given a story of what heaven looks like. We were given a story of what happiness looks like. We were given a story of what perfection looks like. All of this stuff is just a story. It's a story. And it is to keep you thinking that you're not perfect. Because there's no way you can get to be the perfect in the stories that they've been telling you. They can't, you can't, we can't. Because what they're telling you has nothing to do with perfection. It's just their story. So when you begin to realize that you are God, that God lives in you, like everything here is created just like you. So somehow God created everything perfect except for you. And or we were created perfect in some stories. And then Adam and Eve ate fruit from a tree that then made us imperfect. That's a story. It's a perfectly imperfect story. So in this story, where the earth is perfect, the stars are perfect, the sun is perfect, the moon is perfect, everything is perfect, you were born perfect, but because of their decision, everybody else after them is born a sinner because of their decision. And so with sin, you're told that the wages it pays is death. So then you're looking forward to this death. And what they tell you about death is a whole nother story that really has little to no truth in it at all. So these are the Bible is supposed to be parables, not literal. And there's some parts of it that people take very literally. Like, how are you going to pick and choose what parts you take literally? But they do. So for me, at first I threw it all away, all of it, religion and all of its teachings, because that's what I needed to do. And then I said, okay, well, I don't want to throw the bath out, the baby out with the bath. So let me see what and where there is truth inside of what I was told. And in my earnest endeavor to seek it, I can see that there are some truths. Because honestly, sometimes when I'm listening to like audiobooks and stuff like that, and people get to talking about Jesus and how he walked the earth and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm already side-eyed looking at these people like. But then I have to realize that everybody is only working from their level of consciousness, their level of freedom, their level of letting go what they were taught. Because when we are born here, we're not born into a religion. We're not born into a religion. We are connected to Source every bit of the way. We're growing in a beautiful way. And it's not until we start to make agreements with things that we're told, like we don't get to pick our names. We don't get to pick where we're going to live. We don't get to choose, what house we'll be in, or apartment, or cars, or any of that stuff. We're just babies. And somebody else is making all the choices and agreements for us. What in the world? What do you need? What do you need? And for so long, sometimes they tell us we cannot make any other agreements in order to be in their lives. We have to choose what they have chosen for us in order for us to be happy. We have to choose what they've chosen for us in order for us to be successful. What credit? We have to choose whatever they chose for us in order for us to be true and a part of the family or loved by them. I mean, all of these conditions are brought to us by people who say they love us the most, right? You better do this, you better do that, or else I'm not going to love you. You better do this, or you can't get no love from me. I'm not going to be your family. I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not going to be any of those things if you don't do things the way I think you should do them. And that is hugely conditional. Hugely conditional. And most of us, what is it? Are taught these conditions, and then we perpetuate them, and we think that this is the way that love should be. And when you start stepping outside of that, and you start seeing other versions of love, versions that are more encompassing, versions that are more healing, versions that are more unconditional, and you don't even think that it's a real version of love. You think that it's fake. There's no way. There's no way that could be real. That's just bullshit. Because who is going to love you unconditionally? Not in this world, not today. But you have to be willing to love yourself unconditionally. And loving yourself unconditionally starts with changing your narrative, right? The narrative that you tell yourself. You have to tell yourself that you love yourself unconditionally. You have to tell yourself that there's an abundance of love here. You have to tell yourself that no matter what, you're perfect. No matter what anybody else tries to get you to see. No matter the story they want you to believe. No matter what they call mistakes, failures, or anything else, you are perfect. Everything. If you've agreed to say when you have, oops, I fell, that was a mistake, then that's your agreement. You made a mistake. Did that end your life? Maybe, maybe not. But does that mistake condemn you? Only in your mind. Only in your mind. So we have to watch the narrative that we say to ourselves. We have to watch how we're bringing on what we do not want. Sickness. We'll perpetuate it over and over. We will say that we are a dis-ease instead of, right now I'm uneasy about something. My body's uneasy about something. Not I am diabetic. I have cancer. I am these things. No, you're not. You are perfect. You are God. You are divinity. You are amazing. You are wonderful. You are loved. You are loved. You are desirable. You are everything that is magical and wonderful. And your word is magic. Your word is magic. Words are magic. So you are either casting a spell on yourself or not. And so another thing that Dawn brings out in this book. Okay, so if the first agreement is to have your word be impeccable, the second agreement is to not take anything personally. And I can remember walking down the street in my neighborhood and it came to me, pow, nothing is personal unless it comes from me. So nothing anyone else says or does is personal because it did not come from me, from source, from my source. So I don't have to take anything anybody says or does personally. And at first, like, the realization of it can come and hit you. Yes, pow. But the practice of it, putting it into practice, is a whole nother ball game. But all we're doing every single day is practicing. So why not practice to not take things personally? Like, make the choice. Practice. I'm going to practice not taking things personally. I'm going to see how much freedom comes with not taking things personally. And man, I tell you, the freedom of it is how I can take my ass back to work, to nursing. Like, not taking that shit personally. Not taking the doctor's tantrums. Not taking the fact that the hospitals do or don't hire enough people. Not taking the fact that, I am paid to do one person's job. And I can tell you, before this healing process that I was in, I did the work of 8-9 people. Because anybody will tell you that's what they'll have you do. But they'll have you do it if you agree to it. I was just asked the other day, after working 410s, if I would please come in and work on my day off. And I already knew when they said my name, Ayana, I was like, no. I used to feel obligated to help, because they say, oh, help us out, please. But honestly, if they wanted the help, they would hire enough people. And so people who've already put in their 40 hours do not have to feel that they need to do anything more. Like, I've done more than enough. I've done mine. Hire someone who can take this shift so you're not short and asking other people to do more than their share. And then there's some of us who take personally when there's not enough items stocked. There's not medication on the shelves. There's not certain, anything, sutures, whatever it is that's needed. But why take it personally? There's someone who is paying someone who's getting paid. There's someone, there's more entities at play than just me. I can only go to the shelf and get it off of there. That's all I can do. If it's not on the shelf, then it's not there for us to use. And why should I take it personally? And why should I make it my obligation or feel badly or anything? I should not. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because it's not for me to take that on. So then the other thing is, okay, so not taking anything personal. And then the third thing is to not assume anything. So the first one is to be impeccable with your word. Then it's not to take anything personal. And then not to make any assumptions. And what he was saying is that when you don't make assumptions, because a lot of us have, all of us, these stories that we make up in our mind about things. And we think people should know us so well that they should just know what it is that we want. Know what it is that we're talking about. They should just know what it is, how we're feeling. They should just know. And that's just not the truth. That's not the matter. That's not how it works. At least not right this minute. So being able to use your own throat chakra to voice your needs. You need to know. You need to understand. You need to see where they're coming from. Your need for anything. Your need for whatever. Your throat chakra is the chimney to your heart. Ooh, look at that sweat. I'm sweaty. Your throat chakra is the chimney to your heart. If your chimney is blocked, then your heart is blocked. And then really you will have heart blockages. It will manifest itself in your heart. You'll have vascular blockages. It will start to manifest itself there. So the thing is to just, if we could understand that we're responsible, and the responsibility that lies with us is just us, right? But the source, all the parts of me that is source is accountable for everything that I do. It is accountable, and source says, go where I lead you, and do what I ask you, and let it go. Let it go, because that is all that is required of you. All that is required of you is to do what I ask you to do. Go where I ask you to go. Do what I ask you to do. And it will lead to your bliss. It will lead to your happiness. So source is not, he's not, it's not, they're not, source is not, we're not, I'm not being asking anything that is impossible, because all is possible. There are infinite number of possibilities. And if what I'm being asked to do and co-creating is leading to my bliss and happiness, and I don't have to worry about a thing, because every little thing's going to be all right. And source is accountable for what it's leading me to do and or say. I just have to say what needs to be said and leave it. I just have to do what needs to be done and leave it. Like, the freedom in that is motherfucking amazing. Amazing. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Woo. It's beautiful. I'm going to go sit in that water later. But I went and had some lunch. My God, it was so good. I had a thought of what I wanted. I went and got what I wanted, and it was fixed perfectly. So it was so delicious, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And now I'm out here walking some of it off, sweating some of it out, talking to myself, which includes y'all. So, not assuming anything. If you got a question about anybody with anything at all, especially in our romantic relationships, to not assume that our partner can read our mind, but to actually be able to voice our wants, our needs, our thoughts, our desires, and not take things personally. Your feelings will never get hurt, because you know that person is moving from the story that they have inside their head, from their level of consciousness. So, also, the fourth agreement is to do your best. to always do your best. To always do your best means getting out and living. It means not sitting and watch other people live on TV. Television has its place. For some, people don't watch it at all. For others, people spend hour upon hour upon hour. I know I have binge watched some things. Ooh. Thank you. So I set a reminder. And it says, I am the temple for I am. I am married to I am. So being the temple for your body, being the temple for the divine, means that you are in fact holy. You are divinity. You are divine. God lives inside of you. The kingdom of heavens is within. The whole kingdom of heavens is within. Not part of the kingdom, not a piece of the kingdom, the kingdom of heavens, right? Source is in you. Your body is a temple. Feeding it like it's a temple, moving it like it's a temple, like worshiping your body, worshiping it, treating it the best, loving it, telling it you love it, touching it like you love it, making love to all there is at all times has so much more to do than just sex. Making love, someone told us that making love was a sexual act. And while there is love in sex, there can be. We all know that there cannot be. We all know that it could just be a carnal desire being, played out. But when you understand that love is everywhere and you are everywhere with it and you are grateful for everything, everywhere, at all times, you are making love. You're making love all day long. And then you're surrounded with love. You're inside of love. You are love. And the love that you will share, the love that you'll experience, the love that will flow to you and through you will be unlike anything you've ever experienced before. But it has always been here, being expressed. Always. We can't always see because of limiting beliefs. That's where the limits come in, where you're limited by the belief system that you hold on to. You're limited by the ideas, the agreements that you made previously that you are still not willing to let go of. If you were scared of something as a little child and you're an adult, evaluate it. Say to yourself, I was little. I didn't know what it was really. But can I take a better look at it now that I'm an adult? Or do I just want to stick with the fear of it? Because when you live in fear, you limit yourself in ways that you'll see people all around you do all sorts of things that are fearless. And I'm not saying that you have to do all of those things, but there's desires that you have, and some of your fears are stopping you from doing them. So take a loving stock, a loving look at whether you are acting from a place of love or you're acting from a place of fear, and whether you want to continue. What has you fearing that? Okay, what's underneath of this fear? What thought, what belief is underneath of it? Is lying there, living. It's not even dormant, it's living. Your fear is living because it is keeping you from doing these things all of these years for a lot of part of your life. So when you're looking to change things, look at those things. What are my thoughts? How can I think differently? Because shifting your perception about something, a perception shift, will free your life in ways that are magical, for real. Wonderful, wondrous. And magic will start to appear for you because things will start to become easy for you and it will feel like it's magic. But it's just the way that things work. So one of the things I've learned by listening to Dr. Bruce Lipton, who is a cell biologist, and he talks about like the nucleus of the cell. He breaks down all of the parts of the cells. And I'm going to make another video about this in and of itself because I feel like it's very important for the information to be shared. And that is what coats or lines every cell of our body is something called perception. Perception. So when you make a perception shift towards love, away from fear and towards love, your body, your cells regenerate in the most healthiest way. It is it's something that happens automatically. Just like if you cut yourself, automatically the fibrin and everything else that needs to rush to that cut so that it can start to heal automatically starts to do so. So when you shift your perception, the level of freedom, the things that's going on inside of you that you can't possibly, well, you can possibly understand, but maybe you don't understand right then. The cosmic wisdom is already there. So when you are eating your food, you're biting, you know that you're chewing and swallowing. And that's about the part that you choose what you want to eat, you chew it up, you swallow it. And then once it goes down your esophagus, you're not worried about whether it's hitting your stomach now, is the acids in your stomach churning it up, what vitamins are being broken apart, minerals going where are they going into muscles? Are they going into fat? Are they going into your intestines? Is it coming out your small? Is it coming out your large? Where is it right now? I wonder what the food I just ate is doing. No. You just did your part, so you think, and now it's time for your body to take over and do the part that it does naturally. And it's the same way with shifting your perception. Once you shift your perception, what is supposed to happen naturally will. The healing process takes place automatically. Just like when you perpetuate untruths, lies, when you perpetuate lies about yourself, how sick you are, how tired you are. I'm not saying that you cannot be sick and tired. What I'm saying is, if you say that on a constant basis, like you are claiming it, like that is you, not just an occurrence, that's when you're telling yourself an untruth, because sickness is not you. Although, if you convince yourself that it is, it will be, because you are the placebo. Your belief, your faith, your words, it is the placebo. And so therefore, it will give you everything that you're saying. It will. And it seems like, I know for a time for me, it's like, okay, well, I can want good and I can say bad, but how come if I say bad, then that's the thing that comes so easily? And it is because it's what we were told most of. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. It is what we were told most of, so it is what we believe about ourselves the most. And we have to put forth effort. I don't like to say fight, because I don't think we need to fight for anything. I know I felt like this was my, some color in my, what? Okay. All right. Okay. So anyway, I was saying that this was my warrior haircut, and it did feel like a divine warrior type thing. It felt like I needed to fight for my rights to whatever rights, stay up for myself, speak up for myself, all sorts of stuff. And if that's what I needed at that time, then that's what I needed. But I no longer feel the need to fight anything or anyone about anything. I feel that I'm just going to go with the flow. I'd rather float on the flow, to be honest with you, is what I'd rather do. I'd rather have my life be the easiest. I'd rather love be easy, pleasant, kind, nurturing, compassionate, compassionate, understanding. I want love to be fruitful, fun, amazing, miraculous, magnificent. I want love to be, did I say easy? Easy, 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 easy. I want love to be divine, spiritual. I want love to be a teacher, a student. I want love to be breezy. I want love to be happy, joyful. I want love to be, I wanted to make, I know what I want to make heaven me feel like is what I'm trying to say. I know what I want to feel like, and I know what I want from love. And I'm here to see all the ways that love shows up. Love shows up for me. Love shows up for all of us. I'm here to celebrate the way that it does in me and the way that it does in you. I'm here to see how perfect love is, how perfect I am, how perfect you are, how perfect we are, how I can let go of labels like good or bad, wrong or right, because it is that knowledge of good and bad, that knowledge of like, it condemns you. You become a judge. You are your judge. Instead of just doing what it is that God is expressing, we either stop ourselves or don't do it because of stories that we've already been told about things being good or bad, about things being right or wrong. And so I release all the stories that I have ever been told about any of it, because it places limits. And my true desire is, what is this? Is, it feels like a, I don't know what it is. Okay, well, whatever. My true desire is to simply love myself and enjoy myself and enjoy life and get out and do all that I can while I can. And I don't mean, I just mean like the hours of the day. I have time. There's some times when I just want to sit in the house, and I do. And there's sometimes when like yesterday, I don't think I got out of my pajamas. I didn't. And I straightened up my place. I did laundry. My sheets got changed. I did my nails. I soaked my feet. I gave myself a little spa day with my nails and my toes. I sat on my yoni steamer. I gave my girl a nice, herbal steam. Gave that, my womb some treatments, my cervix, all that good stuff. Today, along with this walk and my lunch that I had with myself today, I am going to go sit in the stream because merrily, I get to make up this dream. And after that, tonight I'm giving myself a facial. Oh yeah, the other day I shampooed my hair. I put some color in it. Y'all see that color? It's the first time I ever did that. And I have decided that I am in an agreement with calling myself an artist and calling you guys artists too, because we are all co-creating the life that we have. Whatever choices we make is our creation. How we are co-creating, because we already decided to come here to this earth, so we are here. And we get to decide with this life, with the choices we make, what it is that we want to do, right? Right? So letting go of old narratives and either letting new ones arise or creating new narratives of what it is that you actually want from yourself, what you actually want to see from your life. And here's an example. Instead of saying, I have a record and it doesn't allow me to get good jobs or high paying jobs. You could say, I have a record, but ain't no stopping me. It does not matter what record they say I have. There is no stopping me. I get to live out my dreams. Yes, that was a hurdle. I've already jumped that hurdle. I do not have to make myself pay for those things anymore. I do not have to condemn myself no matter what I see. And I say this because my husband had a record, and because of it, he believed that he could not get a better paying job, a higher paying job. So he stuck with this one company, and it's what he did. It was his choice. But I would say, baby, you're not getting these jobs because it's what you're saying to yourself. It's like, he's like, no, babe. I've put in applications. I've applied to these other jobs, and they say it's your record. And he didn't realize at that time, I'm sure he does now, but that he was perpetuating what he was seeing by what he was saying, because word is magic. Word is magic. And I want to thank him. I thank him all the time, all day, every day. I thank him. Thank him for coming here and being with me and sharing this life with me, for being exactly what I needed him to be, for being exactly what he needed him to be, for being exactly who he was at all times, the good, the bad, or what seemingly was good or bad, or up or down, or round and round, all the fun, crazy times we had. I chose the best partner for me. The best one showed up for me. There is no coincidence that he was my husband. I feel that he could have been born anywhere else. I could have been born anywhere else. We could have been any place else. But him being born and then ending up on my street, seeing me sit on my steps when I was 12 years old, and deciding that I was going to be his wife, and then making sure that I was. He was given a dream of me when I was first born, and he was about 6. He dreamt of me as my 5 or 6-year-old self. It was put in his mind's eye, the image of me. And so when he saw me when I was 12, he knew that it was me. And then when I showed him a picture of myself when I was about 5 or 6, that's when he said, oh my God, I dreamt of you. I dreamt of you. When I was 6, I dreamt of you. And I told my mother that I dreamt of this girl. And he described the ponytails. He described everything about me. And that was my husband. He could describe my apartment without setting foot in it. He could tell me that back when I was ordering CDs from, Columbia House, I would say, babe, guess what CDs I got in the mail today? And he would say, Shantae Moore. And I would say, how the fuck you know? Like, I didn't make no reference to none of them. And he just would tell me which ones I had. We had the same dream while I was pregnant. And if he had told me, he told me his dream. We were both asleep. We woke up. We had vivid dreams. He told me his dream. And my mouth was dropped because I just dreamt the same motherfucking dream. And I don't know how 2 people can dream the same dream. But we did. The same time, the same nap, while we were pregnant with our son, Justice. Also, when I dreamt of Justice's name and I went to tell him, he knew exactly the spelling of Justice. I had never even heard of Justus. But when I woke up, I was told that that's what it was. And when I told him about it, he was in the shower. And when I told him and he spelt it, he said, yep, that's our son's name. It was so many things that let me see how spiritually connected we were. So many things. When we made love, when we had sex, I could travel time and space. And I never knew that that was possible. I never knew. And he did certain things to help me imagine. He did certain things to help with my imagination. And I want to thank him for those things. I have thanked him already, but I'm thanking him right now too. Thank you, boo. Because using my imagination was something that was a scary thing for me because of the religion I grew up in. So I had pretty much stopped. But I realized here lately that my husband was someone who helped me to use my imagination again. Thank you, boo. Love you. Later, guys. I'm going to go get in the water.